I've made it to Albany and my first stop is the Limeburners Whisky Distillery. Let's go. Ben, how did this company get started? What's it all about?
The company is the dram of Cameron Syme, who had a previous business career and came from a farming background, and I think it was his vision of wanting to do something that his ancestors had done back in Scotland, and also coming off a farm he wanted to see adding value to the grain they produced on the farm.
Sure.
So he always had that vision of opening a distillery since he was pretty young, and he put in 10 years of research and came up with Albany in Western Australia. We'd had research from a Californian professor before that said this was one of the greatest agricultural growing regions of the world, and he picked up on that research and he chose Albany as the ideal spot for growing whiskey. Barley tends to be grown more on the coastal areas where it's a little bit more humid. Where you see we're about 10 metres away from the water, so it's got that high humidity.
Can you tell me what a distiller does?
I overlook the production process, so everything from sourcing the grain. I talk with farmers about growing the grain. I'm overseeing the quality of the grain that comes in.
Sure.
I oversee our junior distillers or trainee distillers in the brewing operation. I overlook the distilling, and after I also look over the packaging.
Can you tell me about the name Limeburners?
Yeah, Limeburners is a local name, so it's geographical to here. 10 minutes down the road here, there's a Limeburners Creek.
Right.
And that is one of the water supply creeks to Albany. A lot of the water here comes from bores, limestone-fed aquifers.
Right.
So the water we're using has come from Limeburners Creek.
It's a great little connection.
It is, and also limestone is a great ameliorating agent for the soil. So in Western Australia, where we have quite low pH soils, you add limestone to the soil, and that allows the nutrients to become available for plant growth.
We're in a really regional area in Australia, and this is a really incredible business in the growth that it's seen, but it's also very highly awarded. How do these awards impact a business like this?
I suppose it's the sheer number of people that come through our premises. So all these awards have helped to put the mainland on the map of whisky producing and show that we not only grow great grains. Everybody knows we've grown great grains for making beer, but it's a similar process to making whiskey with the distillation to follow. So I think we've just put the name on the map.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process and the type of stills that you use here for these whiskies?
Where we're making whiskey, we use very old-fashioned distillation. Here we have two pot stills. We've got a wash still for putting the beer into, and then we have a spirit still for doing the final distillation of the white spirit, and they're proportional stills. So we distill in a similar method to Scotland. So we start off with 1,500 litres in one still, and it goes down to 500 litres in the spirit still.
And then from the still, you've got your cut, I guess, that comes out of the still. What happens to it from there?
Well, when the spirit comes out of the still, it's clear. And from that spirit distillation, we put it into barrel, and it spends, we talk about putting the whiskey to bed. It goes to sleep for at least 2 years, often more, but that's the minimum in Australia is 2 years. We typically put it into a ex-American oak barrel, and we quite often use bourbon barrels. And then after that, we can either sell the whiskey as an American oak style, or we can put it into a finishing barrel.
For a visitor coming to Limeburners, can they taste the whiskies here?
Oh, we've got one of the biggest bars you'll find anywhere, and it's full of all the different whiskies we make. So
Brilliant.
It's a real experience to come and look, and you can see some of our older whiskies, some of our older award-winning whiskies. So there's a full range of both current releases, and we do have some library whiskies we bring out occasionally.
And is there tours or other things that people can do when they visit?
Yeah, if you come to our site in Frenchman Bay in Albany, we've got tours twice a day.
Oh, wow.
So you can book in the later morning or early afternoon.
Early afternoon might be better, I think. Ben, I think it's time that we go and sample some of these beautiful whiskies. Thank you so much for chatting to me. Let's head to the bar.
Let's do it.
So Ben, you've poured 2 whiskies here. Can you talk me through what we've got?
Okay, well on the right hand here, you have the heavy peated whiskey at 61% alcohol. And this whiskey really put us on the world whiskey making scene in that we picked up Australian Malt of the Year 2 years consecutively for this whiskey.
Fantastic.
So that really put us on the map. And then on the left hand side, you have the Darkest Winter. And the Darkest Winter picked up the best international whiskey at the American Institute of Distilling. So they're 2 of our greatest styles, and they're both peated.
So which one should we taste first?
I think we start off with the 61% first, with the heavy peat.
And what am I looking for with this?
I suppose you're looking for just the background of the whiskey, as well as that nuance of the smokiness, the peat smell. It's really a deep permeating flavour which goes through the whole whiskey, and it's a whiskey you have to really learn to like. Although I've got to say my first enjoyment from drinking whiskies came from a peated whiskey style.
Yep, okay.
How does that go?
So good. I can't believe that it carries that amount of alcohol so well, but it's just so persistent. It starts off really mild and then it just sort of keeps going. Is that the intention?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the peat itself is a phenol, and you can actually pick it up at parts per million.
Right.
Probably even less.
Yeah.
So it is something, you just have a very small amount. In fact, we have put whiskey into peated barrels which have just had peated whiskey in them before, and you still get the nuance of the peat coming through.
I'm very impressed with that.
And then on the left here, if we try this other one, we call this the Darkest Winter.
Okay.
Because it's a whiskey you can enjoy in the depth of winter.
Yep.
Or you can enjoy it at all times of the year, but it's really, once again, it's a more intense style than the heavy peat.
Sure.
And it's got a different level of peatiness to it.
It smells a little more intense as well than this one.
But very smooth once again. It's you don't need to cut it back. Of course, probably the more responsible way to taste it is to try it neat first, and then most people would cut it back with a bit of water. And also, when you put the water into it, it actually brings out the peatiness.
Yeah, but still so fine and balanced and really flavoursome. Like the smoke doesn't kind of cover up any of the whiskey, does it? It's just sitting there in check.
That's right. It's one of those incredible things that you can get something that's so permeating, but it still is in harmony with the whiskey.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I've learned so much, and I really look forward to tasting the rest of the range. Cheers.
Cheers, Claire. My pleasure.
I've had such a great time here visiting the Great Southern region in Western Australia. This place is full of beautiful people, incredible wines and stunning coastlines. But don't forget, for more episodes of the Cellar Door, you can check us out online. I'll see you next time.